What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back at it again. Haters gonna hate, and I know y'all gonna be mad at this one right here, but I know a lot of you guys have wanted this for a while, and I've wanted this, and we're checking out the Tascam Model 24, which is a 24-track mixer that is standalone like this baby right here, the MPC Live 3 and all the other modern day MPCs. So you can incorporate both of these two in there. However, I got the setup to do it, and that's what we're gonna do in this video. But before we get started, I wanna say special thanks to Guitar Center for making this thing happen. Now I can make this MPC Live 3 into something far more incredible than what it already is. And it also works as an audio interface. We're gonna open this thing up. You already know the vibes here. I gotta move it. You know, I got this table from Guitar Center. Big shout out to Guitar Center yet again. I have a link in the description box for the Tascam Model 24 if you wanna check it out. If you're satisfied with this review or whatever. I'm checking it out for the first time because I had a Model 12 and I never got a chance to actually put it on the channel, and now I got something even bigger and better, and I don't know where I'm gonna put it on the desk because the first thing I'm gonna say is it's huge as we just open this thing up. I'm glad I got a tape, boy. Things falling off the table. It's crazy right now. Woo. My haters gonna be mad at me, boy. Woo. One thing I can say about Tascam as a company, they do not play around when it comes to protection on their boxes. And also you can get a warranty from Guitar Center as well. You know, they didn't ask me to say that. I just making sure that you guys know that, you know, this video is sponsored in a sense. Ooh wee. So this is what it looks like in the box right now. But as you can see, it is boxed up very nicely. We're gonna take it out the box. So that's gonna be a process. Then we'll talk about build quality and, you know, other things too. So you got your wire here. It's like a standard computer wire. I don't know if I should be opening it like this. Shock value. I know y'all like that. Comes with a manual. The manual is thick. If you're not into reading, then you ain't gonna like it. But luckily enough for you, there's enough content already existing on YouTube, and all the content creators that I've seen with the Tascam Model 24, they have done a phenomenal job of explaining how the Tascam system works. Yeah, let's take a look at it. Now I will tell you, just from holding this Tascam Model 24, it is extremely big. It does have some weight. The build quality is strong. It has feet on there. It does come with extra feet. Woo, do I even have enough room for my MPC? I might have to put this like right over here. Now that we have this established, man, let's move this table over. I know y'all want to see that process. We've already talked about the build quality. The build quality is aight, and now we should talk about some of the things in terms of its features from a top-down view. So we got a better look at this thing, and we'll talk about build quality, but I wanted to talk about the available I/O. So you have all of these Mcrees right here, and I want to make a mental note so that you understand that anything from 13 on up is shared. So these are stereo tracks, if you want to call it that. And all these could be your mono tracks or whatever. Then you have your gain. You can also plug up guitars and stuff like that. You can switch it. You also have Mcrees. Of course, you can do what you call 48 volts or whatnot. So it does have a built-in pre. And you can switch stuff so it can be live, send stuff to the master. So anything that you would want to do in a mixing environment, you can do. And then also this doubles down as an audio interface too, as a built-in audio interface. Track 21 and 22 you can have for Bluetooth, and you can pair Bluetooth to it. So if you have like a guest or you're doing anything broadcasting wise, you can bring in a guest and mix them live in full effect in the, you know, and that matters a whole bunch when you want to do stuff, especially if you want to do a standalone too, like you're not trying to have it as an audio interface. It makes doing anything live better when you can pair stuff to it. You have your EQ section, you have compressors, you have your auxiliary section, you can pan stuff, you can set the record. Of course, remember this is a standalone unit where you can mix stuff digitally inside of the unit, then you can send it out, or you can just bring it to your computer and put in your favorite DAW of choice if you want to do that. But then again, you will miss the point of having one of these. It does have built-on effects as well. You have everything from reverb all the way down to chorus. So if you want to mix stuff, especially like a drummer or a guitarist or whatever kind of people that you want to mix, then yes, you can. I want to make a mental note because these faders are long as heck. I don't know if I can curse, but damn, these are long. No diddy. They are plastic caps though, so keep that in mind. And all these knobs right over here, which are fixed encoders, like as they should be, because this is a mixing unit. Yeah, bruh. And then it has a graphic EQ. Wow. And of course you have your sub mix too. So if you want to send up a sub mix, like per se, you want to use these tracks right here for vocals or whatnot, like someone's singing their vocals or whatever, you can send it to the sub, and then you can mix their vocals all in one. If you have it perfectly, like you have their stuff mixed perfectly, you have it in this scenario right here, then the sub mix button is right here, and you can send it to the main, and you can take anything out the sub after you're done, and then you can get stuff down, you can send it to the main. You can do monitors, so you got monitor 1 and 2, so if you aren't ready to send someone out to your main, you can monitor it first so that you get an idea and you'll be able to see the rest of this mixer, because again, this is 24 tracks in theory. You have your sub mix right over here. This is the sub mix. Again, you can mute and record and send stuff to your sub or to your main. You monitor all these faders are so long, bruh. No diddy, but dang, dog. One of the things we got to talk about has to be this display. This display is ridiculous, bruh. So if we go into the menu here, I had to go into system. You got this jog wheel right here, so you can focus on that and you can do different settings, because one of the things that you might have to do is mess with the display settings right over here, because if I have it too high, then you can't see anything, but I have it on low, and then you can set the contrast or whatnot. You're gonna set the contrast. You can exit out. You can set the song name, the date time. You can choose to select a foot switch. You can set MIDI time code, so you can time it with MIDI. You can initialize it, the project or the system features. You can use multi USB audio. You can do stereo mix. So it'll play well with the MPC Live 3 and many other things that have multiple outs and multiple ins. You can do SD play, storage, and then of course, these are your function buttons right over here. Of course, you can, if you want to send effects, and you know, you got FX1, you can set it on the track, you can choose the meter, PC return, all this stuff that you can do right here. And then you have your transport buttons right down here. So you can get a general look at the back of the unit. This is the power switch, and then the power supply, and then all the way to the far right of the machine, you have a USB type A. I know type C is the now, and who knows what Tascam will do in the future as far as adding type C, but for what we use it for in today's music, we all have type A, and that's kind of the safest play. Bars. One of the bigger questions will be, does it have its own software? And the answer to that is yes. And it is easy as just going to the actual website itself, which I'll probably have linked in the description box, and go into support, and then you can download the Tascam model mixer setting panel for either Windows or Mac. And I won't be using it this way in this video because it's a hybrid mixer, both analog and digital. Why in the world would I want to use it as a software controller? But you can though, within any DAW that you want. The question of the hour has to be, how would it work with something like the MPC Live 3 or any of the existing MPCs on the market? And the answer to that is quite simple. All you have to do is just plug it up to the back of the USB hub on your MPC of choice, and everything should be fine. And that goes without saying that you should at least plug it up to your Tascam Model 24, right? I'll go and start a new project, simple as that. And then we'll go and load up a project that is this, so we can play with some of the tracks. Once you loaded up your desired track, all you have to do is just basically go into your main menu, then you go into your preferences, and then you go into your audio device. You'll see it will say internal. You want to switch it to the Tascam Model 24 right here, and boom. After that, I can simply just route things this way. Like I want to set up my path, so I'll just go and open up this track right here. And then I have my IO sends and returns. So I can just set up my IO to be on whatever track that I want from this menu right here. And I'll go ahead and do that for every individual pad that I want. So in this instance right here, I want to send this pad to this output. So I'll go to output 1, and I'll send my kick over here. I'll send my snare to output 2. All right, so now we're gonna pull things together. I'm gonna press play on the MPC. And if you're paying attention to the mixer, I can bring in all these elements into the track. And then, you know, you could just do whatever you want with the mix from there. And now, if you think that this setup is OD, yeah, it is. And how practical is it? Not necessarily practical, but if you're making beats and if you still want to produce like this in the big 20, 25, 26, 27 and whatever, you ain't worried about practicality. Now, I know I'm in different clothes for the conclusion, and you know, I recorded it in the clothes that I had previously, but I had to bring something to your attention because some of the cons that I have for the Model 24 are actually addressed in the Model 2400. And I'm gonna tell you right now that I'm pleased, not totally satisfied with the 24, only because I've seen this, and let's see it. So I had to look at it. Is first of all, it's $2,000, and then you get all the bells and whistles. People were leaving comments telling me within my IG, it's like, bro, it doesn't have MIDI in and MIDI out physical 5-pin. And the 2400 does. So I had to point that out. Then also it has type B to type A, but dog, we're not gonna debate that. You could do something else with your type C. You could, trust me, we got videos coming. But other than that, you can see you have more auxiliary outputs. You have a click track. You have more sub outs. This is what you're gonna get when you get the 2400 off top, bro. Like, this is, look, no games to be played. Let's look at the other things too, because I mean, everything in the 24 Tascam is great. The Tascam Model 24 is great, but look at some of the stuff that you get on the 2400. I mean, you have a master bus compressor. They don't have the graphics EQ. That's kind of, well, they probably have a digital EQ. I haven't looked at it totally, but you know, I just want to show you guys that it is the mess up thing. Is they tried to get me to review the 2400. Down. Yeah, dog, I'm a buffoon. And there are other offerings if you don't want to get a big mixer / audio interface. You can get the Tascam Model 12. I had it. It'd be nice for something if you have a smaller desk and you have the desk real estate for it or whatnot. But the big boys are for the big folks out here that want a big sound and want to do everything, especially with the MPC Live 3. The 24 and the 2400 is your best bet. Pros, great long faders, a whole bunch of EQs, compressor, and all that great stuff. I/O is genuinely great, but the 2400 has XLR and 1/4-inch jacks combos. So just letting you know. Damn, I wish I would have reviewed that. Man, I feel like Raphael in this thing. Yeah!